Hey guys, Sky4 here, and I'm sitting at my, I guess, table, and I am with, right now, this thing. If you guys don't know what this thing is, it is my N64 disk drive, and I'm here today with it because I'm actually trying to fix it. Yes, I am doing so because a lot of people have asked me. Oh, you know what? Are we gonna have more OSTs for like Mario Artist Polygon Studio and Doshin the Giant and stuff like that? And you know, I'd love to do those OSTs for you guys, but I sort of can't because this piece of junk is broken. So, and that's a no-go. But, so I figured I'm going to try and fix this thing. So, here I have the camera. I've actually tried to fix this thing multiple times off camera, but I'm making this video because I had a different purpose in mind while I was doing this. Yeah, so this is the N64 DD. And I should tell you this thing. Now, I'm not going to go into a whole kind of history lesson about this unit here, but basically these things were released at almost the complete end of the N64's lifespan, and these things are very, very rare. There was only about 15,000 of these units ever produced, and I guess there's only 14,999 since mine is completely ruined, or at least not non-functional at the moment. But that's beside the point. So, never noticed that. Yeah, I had opened this up, and the reason why I'm filming this is to give you guys what the insides of this thing look like. Because the thing is, So yeah, sorry, I'm back here. There was a cut there. My mom came in there. But yeah, so as I was saying, so the thing is, I was looking for tutorials on or pictures of what the insides of this thing look like, and I couldn't even find a single picture of how this thing was built. So, yeah, here we go. I'm actually going to put this on my tripod, and I will quickly just adjust this. So I've taken the liberty to take off all 4 corner screws off this thing already. So it's all the screws are already removed for the most part. So this is what the insides look like for those who are curious. Because I know there's going to be people out there who are going to be like, whoa, what does the insides look like? Without spending like, you know, $500, $600. So here we go. It's basically, it looks like this. Immediately, you can see that there's 2 ribbon cables. One that's orange and one that's white. And basically these run power from the top down to the bottom. This orange one brings the power from the N64 to actually move the thing that reads the disc reader down there. And I believe this other ribbon cable brings the power from the disk drive to the thing that actually spins the disk. But in order to get these, but I cannot actually open this further, so I have to unlock these just for the purposes. Yes. So now you see the disk drive in half, the top half and the bottom half. This is what the inside looks like. It's very simple in design. I can actually and I've tried this already, you can actually connect the N64 to the top half, turn it on, and this will actually still work. Oddly enough, even though it's not connected to the disc. Like the load up screen is what I'm saying will happen. Okay, there we go. That's the top half. But what we want is the more interesting part, which is down here. Okay, so really quickly, here is what the unit looks like without, what the insides look like without the screws or the lid of. Okay, and this is what it'll look like with the lid on. Actually, oh, I did it. Okay, so yeah, that's what it looks like with the lid on. Okay, so it's already got a disc in. It's got Doshin the Giant. This is a very interesting mechanism because when you put it in, it does like this kind of click motion. Where it, I guess it moves these latches here, latch here and here. So it locks it into place and then it uses this kind of like spring thing to eject it out, to push it forward, out, or whatever. But beyond that, I guess I have to open this up, so give me a second. Okay, so now that I've unscrewed these 4 screws that goes there, now we get to see what the underneath of this looks like. But before I should say that, there's actually another piece that goes on top of there, which was not actually in here before, but it's basically like this metal thing. I think it's a heat shield. It must be of some sort of heat shield device that would, if I can get it properly, it would technically go on like that. And I don't know what this does, but it must be something of importance. And it has to be. But this is what the actual thing looks like. The actual drive. What's underneath here is just nothing. It's basically just the casing. So this is basically the bulk of the unit up close in person. Now you can actually take this up off this front panel, so I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so here is the device now without the front panel. As you can see, this is what the interior looks like. This, I guess, this mechanism moves up and down. This moving cable, that's what I assume reads the discs when it goes like, and when it goes, you know, read the disc or whatever. So we got that. And we actually got this disc kind of thing. Now, I believe if I take it out like that, this is the disc mechanism. Huh. So here's Doshin the Giant. What happens when you insert a disc is that it goes in like so, and you see this metal pin right here? Yes, this one. There's grooves along the sides of both the sides of this metal plate here that act as a track, and then it grabs the pin and it basically slides in this door to reveal the disc. Pretty ingenious, I gotta say. And then this part of the disc would set and rest on this little spinning turntable-like thing. So that is that. And I don't know if maybe you guys can see that. This, oh, that's a bit too much. Maybe I'll show you with my toothpick here. This little thing, that is where this end that is where the end of this ribbon cable, the blue one, or the blue and white one here, goes down and comes out right there. I guess I assume it provides power to this part. It would have to. I mean, I can't see any other way it would. Any other reason this would serve but to do so. So that leaves just this. Hold on, let me just zoom out. That leaves just this little doohickey right here, this big long bar. So what this is something that I guess helps lift the reader or something like that when it's reading, when this thing slides back and forth. I don't know. It must be a mechanics kind of thing, but... Oh, I guess this is an important side note when disassembling the DD and seeing it for the first time. For those of you who are wondering how to put it back together, a helpful tip to learn what to do is that when you do so, you might have trouble with this particular piece, because this gave me a lot of problems. And how to put the disc in. Because the thing is, I guess it's kind of hard to explain, but what was happening is that the reader was actually hitting this door before it could actually fully open to read the disc, if you guys can imagine that. So it was like opening, and then it's like I could not push it in any further because the door was still technically in the way, and the disc hadn't been fully opened yet. So how you fix this problem is that the screws that are here and here have to be adjusted in how tight you turn them. Because the tighter they are, the more stiff this becomes. And you want this to be stiff enough so it holds together, but not too tight so it can like move around. You do not want to put max pressure onto these screws to put them down all the way, if you know what I mean. Screw them down all the way, that's what I'm trying to say. So, as you notice, it can still move, and there is actually a bit of movement. I don't know if you guys can see that. Yeah, there's a bit of movement on both sides. I don't know if you guys... Oh yeah, okay. But basically, once you put it in the game, you should be able to put it in, and then... There you go, just like that. And you guys will probably see this better than I do, but you might have seen there was some movement on both sides. So that is just something to keep in mind when disassembling this thing. This is what the interior looks like. So yeah, you got your disc spinning thing, which is held down by 3 screws. And then you got the disc reader, which can actually open. Oh good, this is really a shot. And that would read a disc, go back and forth, I assume. That's the mechanism right there. These are little sliding kind of things. And when you insert a disc, it hits this. What is it? Okay, it hits this little lever, this thing right here. And when I pull it back on it, the entire thing will actually. There, it's technically loaded. A nifty, cool little device, if I must say so myself. And then when you eject a disc, this golden lever part right here is actually pulled back. There you go. So let's do that again. Pull, inserted, exerted, inserted, exerted. Or removed, I'm sure, whatever. Yeah, that is how the interior is built. There's no other parts. But the reason why mine in particular doesn't want to work, or doesn't seem to work rather, is because it is speculated that this laser piece doesn't seem to want to work, or is burnt out. That is what I'm most likely gonna guess. Yeah, that, or there's just not enough. Something either wrong with this or this. Because as far as I know, the games do work. The games, there's nothing wrong with the games because I tested all of them and they all don't work on this thing, which is unfortunate. What happens when I actually insert a disc is that I will get I actually had a couple of errors. Now, I guess I have to get into that too now. But basically, when you load in a disk, there is a possibility to get errors. I started getting error 23, I believe it was. Yeah. And then I was getting error 44. No, was it error 48? Yeah, it was error 48, but that was a completely different problem altogether. And so I had fixed error 48, and then I started getting error 44, which was another problem. And then I fixed that, and I started getting error 1. And through many discussions with a friend who speaks Japanese, I will say this: if you're having a problem with error 44, actually I've got to look that up, but it's a problem that you don't have a good expansion pack on top of your N64. Now mine was working because even though it is a third-party brand, it actually did recognize the disk drive still okayed it, so that couldn't have been the problem. So I changed that out. So I fixed that. And then I was getting error 48, which meant that the clock had actually stopped working. So I actually had to reset the clock on this thing. Yeah, there's an internal clock, which I believe this is what this battery here is used for on the top plate. So once you reset the clock, it was working. Oh, well, I shouldn't say it was working, but it wasn't getting that specific error message. But then I got error 1, and to my understanding, it means that the disk drive itself is actually broken, and that I should bring it, according to the manual, it says I should bring it into my nearest Nintendo shop. Well, that is not going to do me any good now, is it? Because, first of all, these things were only released in Japan, and Nintendo has most definitely dropped all support for this thing. So, yeah, no, that is very unfortunate. So, what I asked an electronics guy, yeah, he said that this part right here, the thing that slides up and down, is what most likely needs to be replaced. But it's like one of those things where it's like, well, it's not like you can find another disc reader on eBay or something. That's a very specific part. And the only way to get one of these is to get another DD. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed now, aren't I? So until I get this thing fixed or replaced or whatever, I've basically got like a $500 paperweight. And yeah, that is very unfortunate. But yeah, I just wanted to make this video for you guys. It's a bit long now, I guess, but I wanted to do this just to show off the insides. I didn't cover like everything else. I didn't cover completely everything. Like this right here is the front panel that would sit on your 64D right here, like so. And then I guess you'd see this here. Yeah. And then And these are like little rubber things, rubber stoppers. How they're actually held together is these things go onto these metal pin-like things, like right here, just like so. And there you go. These four things would go in between these four little holes. And yeah, so that is why I can't do any more OSTs like the Mario Artist stuff like I really like to. Otherwise I wouldn't. But yeah. So I'm going to put this back together and I will show you guys an error message of what exactly I mean and what happens when I turn it on. Okay, so this is the unit when it's attached to my 64. As you can see, it's fairly fastened on and it is ready to be plugged in. I got it plugged into that TV up there. So, in my Samsung television, or rather the family's, but so here's the game. I used Ocean the Giant because this is always my test disc to try out, because I think I might have damaged the disc, so I don't want to damage any of the other ones. And this is, if of all the things to damage, this is probably the cheapest one to do so, because these are fairly common, even though anything DD is fairly expensive or pricey. So when you have a game, you insert it like so, and you turn it on. Yeah, I get this message that says error 1. I think it's like, please check the instruction manual for further instructions. So yeah, but even that is the main error message I'm getting. Something else I was getting before was error 44. But even if I try to turn on the disk system, nothing will happen. The clock is running. We can have the sort of startup screen. And the N64 does recognize the disk system. That's not a problem. And it even says, please insert the disk, right in that green sort of font there. But the moment we do, yeah, it's like it's trying to read it, but it can't. So, yeah, so other stuff. I guess I'll have to buy a new system. Or, if some outrageous person is incredibly generous, they can donate theirs to me so I can make more super amazing, awesome content for you guys in the future. But that's very unlikely, so. But, I mean, this really sucks. But what can you do? I know I don't sound pissed off, but I actually am super uber disappointed. This is pretty unepic. This piece of junk is not freaking working. But at least if I was to buy a new one, it would not be nearly as expensive because I have the box right there. Plus I have, actually, I have the box plus 9 of the 10 games plus the keyboard. And a signed keyboard at that. So, yeah. That's all I want to show you guys. That's all I can think of. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.